What is happening with us is the world is full of pairs of opposites. You and I are full of likes and dislikes. So there is a constant conflict, constant clash between your likes and dislikes and the pairs of opposites in the world. This is what creates agitation, stress. So there are times when you're jumping with joy because your like is met with. There are times when you sink with sorrow because the world doesn't cater to you. You can't change the world. The world is what it is. But you can rise above your likes and dislikes. It is like in Mumbai, you see, there is an intersection and there's so much traffic and so much congestion, and suddenly a flyover comes. So the flyover just rises above all the congestion. It's like the JJ flyover. In a matter of a few minutes, you cover a distance which otherwise would take you perhaps 45 minutes. At times impossible. So you have to establish your own flyovers, mental flyovers. So the likes and dislikes go under, all the congestion is underneath, and you just take off into, and this can happen only when you are established in sattva. Otherwise, as long as you're riding on your likes and dislikes, your world shrinks to just what you like and what you dislike. Have you seen people, they say, oh, I don't go beyond my area. People in Juhu will say, I'm self-sufficient in Juhu, I don't go beyond. I'm not asking you to go anywhere. We are not saying you should go, but you get restricted because of your likes and dislikes. You say, oh, I can only travel where there is Indian food. Or, I don't like cold places. I like this and I don't like that. So your entire world shrinks and you can operate only within a certain... You are living in a prison of your own making, please understand that. And then at the emotional level, I like such people, I dislike certain other people. Life is the ability to get on with people of different kinds. You can't get stuck with one kind of person. So that's it. And even if you get everything that you like, if your mind is agitated, you can't enjoy it. That's why Vedantic masters say, you might get married to the best person in the world, but you can still be miserable. You can get, by the same token, you can get married to the worst specimen of humanity, you can be happy with him. And this is the capacity that the Bhagavad Gita Vedanta gives us. So thereafter, you're independent. Then comes the other obsession we have. Acquisition, acquisitiveness, not acquisition, and possessiveness. Even when your people come here to the Bhagavad Gita lectures, I've heard people say, did you see the diamonds that so-and-so was wearing? Have you come to listen to the Gita, or have you come to analyze whether people are wearing diamonds or pearls? It's immaterial. A person who comes for knowledge doesn't even notice any of this. Not because the vision is bad, because the mind is just focused. So acquisitiveness. You go around looking at what others have and you don't have. You conveniently forget what you have and others don't have. Acquisitiveness. The first time I went to Dubai, we stayed in the home of a family where the lady in her kitchen had any and every gadget that has been produced in the world, but all packed in boxes, not opened. And what she was using was an old mixer manufactured in India. So we asked her, so why do you buy all these things if you don't? No, sometime I will use it. Acquisitiveness and possessiveness. So what you don't have, you want to acquire. What you have, you are possessive about. You don't want anybody to touch anything. You don't want your family members to go outside your area. your area of interest. So there are people who, in Delhi, the husband has interest in classical music, the wife wants only Bollywood. So he can't go to a classical music program. Why? Possessiveness. You can't do what I have no interest in. Hare? So have you married a person or have you entered a jail is the question. Possessiveness. And you must understand what happens. The moment you get possessive about someone, that person who otherwise would be very loving towards you now develops a disgust for you. A revulsion, repulsion. Can't stand the other person just because of possessiveness. Because remember one thing, we are born free. And freedom is the one thing that we cherish. If somebody else takes away that freedom, he may give you anything. You don't want it. You'd rather be hungry and free than be in luxury in a prison. So that's what it is. The more acquisitive and possessive you are, the more you lose what you have. So now why is this acquisitiveness and possessiveness there? Because of a lack of self-sufficiency. You are not complete within yourself, so you need to hang on to so many things. And that insecurity is there because I need you. If you go away, what happens to me? Why should you be insecure? You've got everything in the world. You have yourself. You can stand on your own feet. You have your personality. Be happy with yourself. To establish a relationship because you are insecure is the worst thing that you can do. But once you become totally self-sufficient, then you can have thousands of relationships, you'll be fine, like Krishna. Krishna says openly in the Gita, he tells Arjuna, there is nothing in the three worlds that I haven't obtained that I need to obtain. Yet I continue to act, Arjuna. Yet I relate with the world. Yet I spread joy and cheer everywhere, which is true. And that's how you should be.